this come through the post today, a new diaphragm kit. Even though it was running okay, I'm gonna fit this because, like I've said many times before, I class it as a bit of a serviceable item, and I don't want it failing. It could run all right today and it could fail tomorrow, the diaphragm. So at least if I know it has a new one in it, I know it has a new one in it, so it's sort of as good as it can be. But as I've had it run and it revs okay, I'm satisfied that the carburetor is all now okay. I've unscrewed them too. I'll take that off. I'll clean that part out in a minute. There is a spring on there. I think that probably just pushes against the body. The other side, we'll sort that when we get back together anyway. This is where the sort of diaphragm and that is in here. I have to get the smaller. I do have to get the screwdriver to that. I've got one right here. I'll just give it a sort of a blowout and that, and check the part is right. I'm sure it is. And then we'll get it back together, and all should be good. There is a bit of gunk in there, you can see there's a bit dirty in there. But anyway, that's going to be changed. So always remember, and I struggle to remember this, always remember that it's the diaphragm first, then underneath it's the gasket. Might just tuck that to the side. It gets stuck for one. I will have that. Sure what to do with that gasket. I'm going to try and peel it off with a knife carefully. If it's too hard to get off, you know what, I'm going to leave that gasket on there. It's fine, it doesn't need replacing. I'm going to just put the new diaphragm in and leave that. But what I shall do while I got it apart, my favourite job in the world, getting these out, which to be honest it isn't too bad to be fair, but just be to get the needle valve out and just make sure I'll just give it a blow through, a bit of carb spray and blow through, and then we'll know it's all clean, won't we? So watch that troublesome, well, what can be the troublesome spring. Hoping I can get it out with that gasket in there still, which is proving to be a little bit problematic. Changed my mind. It's going to have a new gasket on because it come out okay in the end. It did come with the whole kit. Yeah, I'll probably put the new needle valve in. Won't bother the new spring and that, because spring's a spring as far as I'm concerned. So that's all apart now. I'm just going to quickly blast that down with some carb spray and blow it down. That'll be all off camera. I'm not going to interfere with any of the adjustment screws or anything because they were spot on. It revved well. There's a little gauze bit in there. I'll just make sure that's clear. I'll be able to see through there anyway. And yeah, I'll get that back on. So I'm going to get that cleaned up, then I'll be back with you. So now I'm going to get this back in. I'll just measure up the new needle, which are the same. So I'm going to go with that. Like I said, I'm going to keep the old spring and everything, and the old pin and everything else. So rest that in there. If I can grab hold of it, I can't grab hold of the needle valve, but I've done it now. A little bit fiddly, especially when you've had carb spray, even with gloves on. It goes through your gloves and it makes it so cold on your hands. Take two. You might not actually be able to see much here. Sorry, but I got it in. So I just nudge that in place. Need that little screw. first side. Before I go really tight, I'm just going to check our pins in okay. Looks all okay, so I'll just nip that up tight. Got a slight concern, which I'll see about now. Got a funny feeling the gasket and diaphragm are different. So I've got a slight issue here. That is slightly different to the old one, but I think it's going to do, because that hole at the top there and the hole on there doesn't do anything anyway. It's just blocked off on this particular carb. So it's only actually the main diaphragm face sort of bit, as you can see there. The whole, none of the extra holes. There's that hole there as a screw, that as a screw, that as a screw, and the other one should go in there okay. If I do this right. I said it was for this. Yeah, that's just pushed in there because you've only got 2 screws in this. That pushed in there and that pushed in there. I think that's going to be okay. Personally, I think that's going to be fine. So I'm just going to screw them 2 screws in there, and yeah, I'm going to say that's good enough. We'll know when it starts, if it starts leaking out fuel or something, or if it doesn't run right. I can't really wait for another one. I'm pretty sure this is going to do. I'm pretty sure this is going to do the job. Yeah, what I should have done actually was take the carb apart first, but I didn't. So I just went sort of potluck and went for it, and I think it'll do. Because usually on most you have a little hole that they have to line up with. Well, there's only one on there that's to line up with, but on this particular one there isn't a hole there, not around, so I can't see it's going to make any difference at all. Now the carb's been apart and cleaned as well. I didn't take the gauze out because I blew that through with some carb cleaner, so that'll be okay. The other side, strangely enough, it's right for that, so I will replace that. Yep, so the other parts I believe are right. The gasket goes on there first, like so. Well, I say like so, yeah, it's in line. 2 little pins there. So just let me put that down and I'll get that other. Yeah, the kit did come with that, and also in there, like the more diaphragm type. This one's more of a sort of a plasticky sort of thing, and that seems to actually be the one I need. So there must be an extra one in there, or perhaps for a slightly different carb. I've got a little bit of dust on there, which I better just wipe off. So now we can get that back on here like so. Yeah, I just got to clean the primer bulb out. So it's primer bulb on, this on, which I would think it goes that way. I think it might, yeah, it goes that way. Like so. It's all in line still, so let me screw them 2 in. Not sure where that spring went I said about. I'm just going to have to investigate that in a minute. So I've done that now. Does that? I think that spring there pushes right behind there and tucks on the body behind. So I'm going to have to try and work that down there a bit. Which I'm going to have to probably do that off camera. It's got to go in. I think it sits underneath the body there. it's going to be difficult for me to do that, so I'm going to have to do it off camera. Yeah, I'll try to show you that. If you look just under there, that is just where my screwdriver, end of screwdriver is. That's the spring. I had to put that in under there first, so I had to take the top back off again with the primer bowl bit on. So yeah, that's how you do it. I couldn't do it really, not very easy with it together, so just had to undo the screws again. That's hopefully it now. So yeah, I'll get everything cleared up a bit to get the machine back on the bench, and we'll put this back on.